Hello folks, this is just a quick tutorial or time-lapse sort of thing to demonstrate some of the concepts we have learned so far as part of my training. Okay, we have covered 8 lessons so far, or 8 sessions. Okay, so I'll just be making use of some mesh modeling tools, okay, to demonstrate what we can quickly model. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, space key to get the operator search menu and subdivide, and let's change some of the properties. Okay, number of cuts and smoothness, and okay, but I'll be just using the defaults. Okay, these options here can also be accessed using the F6 key, right? Alright, now let me select the vertices I want to keep. Okay, I want to keep these vertices and delete the rest. Okay, so select inverse and delete. Okay, cool. So the idea is I'll be using mirror modifiers to do some symmetrical modeling, right? So let me add this mirror. So this is a mirror on the x-axis. Enable clipping. See, the merge limit here controls, okay, how close two vertices should be so that Blender can merge them. Okay, let's keep it at 0. Okay, and we'll come back to this later. I'll copy it twice and mirror on Y and mirror on Z. Okay, so let me just collapse this. I can name this if I want. Okay, mirror X, mirror Y, and mirror Z. Okay, and switch to active. Okay, you'll also see the modifiers over here. You can name the modifiers from here as well. Okay, just control click and you can change it. Okay, okay, but I'll keep it mir x. Cool. All right, now that we have this, now let's see the effect of this merge limit. Okay, so right now the merge limit is 0 for all of these. Let me add a subdivision surface modifier and you'll see there's a problem. Okay, because the merge limit is 0, they're not getting stitched properly. So let's go to the merge limit and just give it a small value, 1 mm. Okay, cool. Okay, so okay, normally you want the mirror modifier to stitch the mirrored vertices properly. Okay, so alright, so now that I have this, let me select these edges and view selected, hotkey is Q. Okay, let me turn off this. Now let me use a knife tool, so K and left mouse click and drag. Okay, and then I want it at the midpoints. There you go. Cool. So what this gives me is a loop. Okay, edge loop, so I can add a loop cut, control R. Okay, I'll keep a loop here and add one more loop. Oops, escape, control Z, control R, and okay, very close. Let's increase the subdivision, okay, 4, and smooth it out. Okay, so by moving this loop, okay, if you deselect the loop, okay, you can just alt right click to select the loop. Okay, and control E to get the edge specials. Okay, control F will give you the face specials and control V will give you the vertex specials. Okay, so control E and edge slide. Okay, so there you go. Okay, and let's switch to vertex select mode. Hotkey is Control Tab and vertex. Okay, now let's switch to the manipulator. So right now the manipulator is in the global space. Let's switch to the normal. So the manipulator now points along the vertex normal. Okay, so let's look at the vertex normal for this. Turn off the manipulator. So you'll notice the vertex normal is in this direction. So by aligning the manipulator from global to normal, okay, you can move this vertex along its vertex normal. Okay, the z-axis now points along the vertex normal. Okay, I can do things like this. Okay, cool. So okay, already we have some sort of form here. Okay, let's turn off the vertex normals, N key and T key. Now to select edge loop, it's Alt and right click. Right now to select a face loop, okay, it's Control Alt and right click. So now I have selected a face loop. Okay, I can do things like I can move the faces along their face normals that you see here by pressing Alt S. Okay, Alt S is the shrink flatten tool. Okay, so that's one tool, so let's keep it here, and let's also do some extrusion. So space extrude. Okay, now I want to extrude the individual faces and move them. Okay, so oops, that didn't work. For that to work, you need to go to the face select mode and extrude and move. Okay, there you go. Let's keep it like this. Okay, okay, that's weird, but maybe just let's undo and try something else. Okay, let's add a few more loops. Control R. Okay, and to apply the to see the effect of the modifier, you can click this. Otherwise you see the cage mesh over here. Okay, okay, so there you go. Switch to the face select mode and Control Alt and right click. Okay, so you can do Alt S. Okay, Alt S is the shrink flatten tool, right? There you go. Okay, and click on the handle and press 1. Okay, so we moved it by 1 unit on the z-axis. Okay, to clear the location of this object, it's Alt G, right? All right, now let's quickly render this. Yeah, apply some basic materials, Shift F, fly mode. Okay, to give it a quick shading, right, I'll switch to the vertex plane mode. Okay, and then use this let's turn on the tool shelf, enable dirty vertex colors. So this automatically, okay, applies sort of like ambient occlusion, okay, on the vertex data. So if you go to the mesh data, okay, you'll see there's a vertex layer added called call. Okay, so here you can control certain options. Okay, blur strength and number of blur iterations. Okay, and highlight angle. Okay, just play around with this. Okay, this doesn't seem to have any effect. Okay, okay, I'll just use something like this. Okay, yeah, this looks good. And come out of vertex plane mode. Okay, and let's switch to the display panel. and GLSL and textured. Okay, now let's, for the material, right, we will let Blender use the vertex colors that we have added, okay, in this layer, to be used as a material. Like without using that, if you now render the image, this is what you get. Let's switch to buffer 2, vertex color paint, and F12 to render again. Okay, you can see the difference. Okay, the vertex colors are being used. And let's also turn on some ray tracing. Okay, let's give it this value and render. Okay, and let's use the dimensions of my cube are around 2 meters in all directions, so I'll use 75 mm. Okay, when the rays from the ray tracing reach 75 mm, okay, they'll just pick up the color of the material itself. Okay, let's maybe make it 150 mm. Okay, and render, switch buffer and render. Okay, let's give it some blend shader. Okay, some tangent shading. The J key is used to switch the buffer. F12, not good. F12 again. Okay, let's change this value to 1 meter and F12. Okay, now there is more reflection. Awesome. So let's switch to the world buttons and enable environment lighting. Sky color contribution of 0.3. Let's pick a sky color. Alright, and switch buffer and render. Okay, and let's turn on indirect lighting and switch everything to approximate shading mode, F12. Again, I just wanted to record this video, okay, to demonstrate all the features we have learned so far, or most of the features we have learned so far in Blender. Okay, so there you go, not bad. Okay, and finally let's go back to the material and turn on some translucency. Okay, translucency is if you notice here, sort of like the backlighting. Okay, see, if I make it 1, okay, light from the other side also affects in the material shading, okay, from the back side of the material. And let me just render. Again, I'll be taking classes on shading, lighting and rendering in the future. This is just a quick demonstration again. Alright, it's gonna take some time. Okay, in the meanwhile we can check out the renders so far. Okay, you can switch through these render slots by holding down the Alt key and scrolling the mouse. Okay, third layer, fourth slot, fifth slot, sixth slot, seventh slot, okay, and eighth slot. Okay, there you go, with some translucency. Okay, and just to take this a little further, okay, let me quickly introduce you to the node-based compositor. So let's go to the node editor, switch to use nodes, and use nodes for the compositing nodes. Okay, use nodes. Oh, sorry, I clicked use nodes for the material, so let me uncheck that. use nodes for the compositor. So Blender can render in render layers. Okay, we'll be using the default render layers. Okay. um, okay, so let's take this render layer. Let's add a viewer node. Okay, control left clicking in the, is it control shift, okay, control shift and left clicking on any node, right, connects to the viewer node. Okay, so this is my viewer node. Okay, and shift space to go to full screen and say backdrop. Okay, now you can see the result of the viewer node in the, as a backdrop. Okay, you can just click on a node and move it around. Okay, now let's add some glow to this. Okay, so add, and let's add a glare. Okay, let's add a glare and control shift and left click. Okay, so let's increase these values, switch to high resolution mode, and oops, something went wrong. Let's delete this. Add and filter glare. So the image socket goes to this, and this goes over here, right? So there you go. Okay, just play around with these values. Yeah, again, I have not used these compositing nodes for a while, so I got a little shake there. Okay, all right. You can also do things like adding uh, let's use color balance node. Okay, connect this to here and this to this. Okay, and now we can do some color balancing. Okay, cool. So that's about this quick demonstration. Yeah, um, so thank you.